Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Wednesday Workshop Live here with Build a Quilt, home of Patchwork in the Hoop, making beautiful quilts, quilted projects with our embroidery machine. That's right, just regular old patchwork. Not anything fancy, not embroidery that's meant to look like patchwork, all of that, but just the patchwork we do to make beautiful quilts. Hi, everybody. I'm Diana. I've been a quilter for over 55 years, and I love having you with me on Wednesday night. So if you are new, welcome. We're so thrilled to have you. Feel free to interact, okay? That's what Wednesday night is about. Pop in your questions, all of that. In fact, to get us started, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself in the comments so I can say hello. I use the royal we there. Did you catch that? So we'd love to say hello. That's the royal we. We'd love to say hello. I'd love to say hello, guys. So please go ahead and pop that into the comment section. And we will get going here in just a second. Let me make sure I've got my other piece up here. Good, it's going. Oh, what a week. What a week, what a week. How are you guys doing this week? Are you getting stuff done? Are you getting your quilting done? Can I say, first of all, Quilt Labbers, did you notice I did get the pattern out Monday? I sent you a thing Monday morning saying, sorry, it's been so crazy. It's going to be Tuesday morning. And I got it out on Monday afternoon. I worked my little fingers to the bone, but I wanted to make sure you guys got that on Monday because I felt really bad that I was going to have to postpone it a day possibly. But it has been so crazy around here. You guys know from last week, we're having the floors replaced. Living room, dining room, beautiful, all great. Tomorrow, the leak detection people come. They're like detectives. They're not like my plumber has already come and he's done a great job. And I'm telling you, if he tells me there's nothing leaking, I believe him because he knows our plumbing really well. But these leak detection people are coming because the insurance company wants them to. And they're like all very high tech, like they put sonar up to the wall to see if they hear water, and they have some sort of an infrared or something that will tell you if there's water in your wall. I mean, all this crazy stuff, you guys. So they're coming tomorrow at noon. So what I get done tomorrow is anybody's guess. So that's just the way that goes, right? So, all righty. So, but it's been a crazy day. Like Dave went into work this morning at 4:30. He probably won't get home till 7:30. Yeah, it's been a week and a half for him too. But we are so glad to be with you on Wednesday night. And this is week 5 of our 24 block challenge. We'll talk about our first 4 blocks all here in a little bit. Did anybody happen to do the little extra challenge I gave us last week on this one? If you did, nobody sent me pictures. I was very sad. But if you did, great. If you didn't, I get it. Sometimes we don't have time or you're like, yeah, I don't want to do that challenge. That's cool too. But tonight is block 5 and we have a whole new idea. We're going to talk tonight about taking block 5 is a simple block, like super simple, but it can be expanded upon using the same segments. And I'm going to show you what you can turn that block into by expanding it. And then I'm going to show you one of these first 4 blocks. I did a diagram showing you how I did that, how I expanded that. Okay, just want to see. I'm hoping you guys are hearing me. I'm getting a little funny thing going on over here. It looks like we're live and doing good. Okay, great. All righty. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to be talking about that. And then I have something to show you guys here in a little bit. We'll talk about that too. But every Wednesday night, we always start off with a little joke, a little cartoon, a little meme, as they call them. And our good friend Kathy, who's one of our regulars here at Build A Quilt. So I welcomed all the new folks. If you're returning, you guys know, welcome back in, friends. It's like a big family. Welcome home. So glad to have you back with us tonight too. So our good friend Kathy, a couple of weeks ago, sent me a bunch of little cartoons and memes and things. And so I'm just like doing them one at a time so that they take longer, because sometimes it gets hard for me to find them. So are you guys ready? Because here's Kathy's little one. And I liked this one. Now, let's just say right from the beginning, This might not be you, but I don't know a quilter that this doesn't apply to in some way. But maybe it doesn't apply to you. Has not always applied to me, but when it does, it really does. Here we go. So it says, this is the picture she sent me. She says, I don't need a reason to buy fabric. Okay. I just need a sale, a little, so it's like a recipe here, a sale, a little denial, and a convincing story for why this new bundle is essential to my mental health. Now, let's not make any kind of fun of folks dealing with mental health issues, right? But sometimes as quilters, we know that if we are having a really stressful time, it's been a long day, or we just need to get away for a little bit, going to our sewing space and doing a little quilting and a little piecing of our quilts and all really can help like rebalance. We come back into, as we say in the biology world of which I live, we come back into homeostasis, meaning everything is cool and running on all cylinders, as my dad used to say. So, but I thought this was cute. And I liked this one because all these beautiful colors are very autumny colors, right? Very beautiful, like this beautiful teal green and this terracotta wall and all of that. And it's autumn now. I'm so thrilled. I love autumn. It's literally my favorite time of year. Although it was 90 degrees here 2 days ago, and it's been in the 80s, high 80s since then. That's crazy town. It's never, weather has never been like that in all of my years of living on this planet, because I'm from here. Never like this. So, and we're supposed to be in the 80s all next week too. So, but it's autumn, so I don't care. I'm still going to enjoy the colors and the season, and whether nature is going to cooperate or not. So, but I like this one. Thank you so much, Kathy, for sending it in. Some of these fabrics are really pretty, and I could almost bet you that these two fabrics here at the bottom, the one sitting at the bottom of the sign, I can almost bet you I've had those fabrics before. They look super, super duper familiar to me. And this striped one over here next to the leg of the sewing table looks like it can make a great border print. Like if you cut it every two of those stripes, you could end up with a great border print. I love to look at things like this just for that idea. You know, we're always talking about how are we going to be inspired. I love looking at stuff like this because that inspires me. Maybe I hadn't thought about before taking a fabric that's striped like this and cutting it a specific way and using it as a border print for your quilts. That would be a great idea. But so one more time, I don't need a reason to buy fabric. I just need a sale, a little denial, and a convincing story for why this new bundle is essential to my mental health. Just, it's essential. Because you guys know me well enough to know that if it is a Tula Pink bundle, it's essential for my health. It's just essential. I love Tula stuff. She's got a really beautiful new Under the Sea one that she's been showing that's coming out next year. Very, very, very pretty. I think it is a complement to a line she's had before, but it's going to be very, very pretty. Lots of new stuff coming out with it too. I don't always get all the extras, but it's nice to know they're out there. Like she's got a Tula Pink vinyl, clear vinyl now coming out for like making your project bags and stuff. So totally cool stuff there, right? I love that. All righty. So, I wanted to show you guys something because I want to give a little plug here for a video we've got coming out. See these? Do you guys know it? You know what those are, right? Those are little. If we use the brand name, it's Velcro. If we don't, hook and loop. That's what we call it if we don't use the brand name. So it's like Kleenex versus tissue or Puffs versus tissue. Puffs, Kleenex, brand name, tissue is the generic name, Velcro. And these are actually Velcro or hook and loop tape because one side has little bitty loops and one has all this fuzzy and it hooks onto there. So these are little self-adhesive squares. And believe it or not, I've got a video coming out and I'm going to show you what you're going to use these for. And one package of these, I just got these at my grocery store. So like nowhere fancy. You can probably get them everywhere. There are 12 squares in this package. So there must be 4 of these little, 2, 4, 6, 8, three of these in a container for 12 squares, which could make, let's see, could make 3 of what we're going to be making in this video I've got coming up. So if you don't have any hook and loop tape, Velcro sticking around the house, you might want to get some because you're going to want to make this new little project that I've got coming out. And can I just say that if you can't find these squares, a regular strip that you can cut into 1-inch squares will be just fine as well. In fact, you might be able to make more. Might be a little more economical, but I love these little pre-cuts. I'm that way with my fabric too. I love the little pre-cuts. So yeah, welcome in, guys. So please don't be shy. Go ahead and put your name and all in the comments so I know who's here with us tonight. But that is coming up. I'm looking at my agenda for tonight to make sure I get everything in here. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So I showed you the thing from Kathy. Very super sweet. Now, last week I told you that I am starting my long arming with a domestic sewing machine journey, right? That I'm finally doing that and I'm getting a frame and all that. And we talked about it. I found out this week because I'm not using a long arm machine. I explained that, right? And there's a difference between a long arm and a domestic sewing machine. So I found out though, because I didn't know what to call it. Am I just doing frame quilt? What do I call it if I'm not using a long arm machine? And I found out that they call it domestic long arm quilting. So that word domestic meaning you're using a domestic sewing machine. That makes sense to me. I feel comfortable saying that versus just I'm learning how to long arm. But so I told you last week that I was getting this Cutie Breeze tabletop frame. And this week I put out a video that you're going to want to watch because I go over like dimensions and all with this. And I did a whole video that you can watch, and it's what kind of table do I use for my Cutie Breeze frame? And I'm going to show you that, and you get to see what frame, what table and all I'm actually using. So go ahead and go watch that here on the channel later. You'll get some good information. You'll get more information. Whoops, wrong side. You'll get more information about this frame than you will about the table, but there is a whole section on there where I show you the table and go over its particulars. So that, and because I'm doing this whole new series that comes out not on Wednesday nights about my domestic long arm quilting journey. So I'm brand new to that, like I said, and so maybe some of you are too, or if you're not, if you're a long arm quilter and you want to put in tips and tricks for me, I'm right there. I will be your Padawan and learn those things from you. Oh, here we go. Somebody finally signed in. Hi, Sue. Good evening, our good friend Sue from over in Indiana. Was it 90 degrees over there this week, Sue? It's been 90 degrees here almost every day. Like it did reach 90 on today's Monday. It was high 80s yesterday, high 80s today, and it's supposed to be in the middle 80s all through next week. It's fall, for goodness sakes. I'm sorry, Autumn, what's she doing? I don't know, but I'm ready for some 60-degree weather, like badly ready. I'm ready for like 70-degree weather. That would seem cool. Yes, hot, hot, hot. Yes, Sue, I get you, my friend. I'm not, as my husband would say, and I don't know where he picked this up, I am not jiggy with the 90-degree weather in autumn. You know, my husband, he picks up things, I think, from like people he works with, but he's not quite sure like how to put it into sentences necessarily. So he just throws it in there and it's so cute that it actually works. So I love it when he does that. Alrighty. So good to have you with us tonight, Sue, for sure. And I had already mentioned, Sue, did you notice I did get the Quilt Lab piece out on Monday? I didn't go out on Tuesday. It came out on Monday, a little bit in the afternoon, but it was still Monday. I worked really hard to do that, but it's been so crazy. And the leak detection people, all their fancy stuff are coming tomorrow to find out where the water's coming from. The floor is completely dry though. So it's dry. It's not gotten re-wet. It's not wet underneath. So I don't know what they're going to find out. I'm a little concerned now, actually, that they're going to find something really, really, really bad. That's what I'm worried about. That it's like somewhere deep in the wall, like something is, but like our water, somebody said, has your water bill gone up? Like it's leaking everywhere. Our water bill hasn't gone up. So I don't know. We'll hopefully we'll find out tomorrow, and they'll get it fixed, and they'll come back and put in the hallway flooring, because I'm tired of walking on brown craft paper. It's all, it's kind of yucky. I don't like it. Alrighty. So I showed you that about the Cutie Breeze and the video about the table I'm using. That's video 1 in my whole domestic long arm journey, right? That's what I'm gonna call it. And then I told you I got a Baby Lock Jazz 2, certified used. So I found out, I wondered, what does certified used mean in the sewing machine world? In the car world, it means they have brought that car back to factory new conditions. They clean it all out, they do all the good stuff, and they give you a little warranty on it because they've done all that with certified technicians. Well, guess what? That's what it means in the sewing world too. So for my machine to be certified used, which it is, it's had a certified Baby Lock maintenance person go through it and bring it all back to factory conditions. And it arrived. It arrived yesterday. I've got a little video coming out, which is my second video in my journey videos for the domestic long arming. Got a little video coming for you like that. So everything, for a minute, I thought maybe they sent me like a truly brand new machine. It's the original box. Everything is taped on the inside. Everything's laid where it should be. The book is all, so here I've got the book. The book came in the plastic sleeve and all that. And so I've got my little jazz thing. And I actually do read these, believe it or not. Like not every single stinking bit of it, but I do read the basic setup stuff and all just to find out. And this is a different machine than I've had before. It's far less technical than anything I've been using recently. So I should be good with that. But then I knew it was a certified used when I found the bag of parts. Right, like that, a little zippy bag full of all the parts, and there's all kinds of stuff in here. Your buttonhole thing, and here. Let me take some of these out. Your buttonhole piece, and this is the best screwdriver ever. I love it with these little wings on it. Yeah, great screwdriver. I have one for my little tiny basic Baby Lock embroidery machine that I take as a travel machine. I've got one of these. I love it. It's a great little screwdriver. I use it for everything, not just sewing machine stuff. And of course, I have another. I must have dozens of these by now. How many? So tell me in the comments, how many of you have these little brushes that are also your little picks, your little seam rippers? How many of you have more than 2 of them? Because I'm telling you, you get them with every single machine you've ever purchased. And typically when you get rid of your machine, you don't think to pass this on, but this person did. So I have that. And I have a bunch of little plastic bobbins. I'll be using pre-wounds. That's my thing. The little spool holder they did send me a whole little package of needles. And they sent, this has the quilt guide on it. So if you want to do in the ditch straight line quilting, this really helps. I like that little gadget. And there's a bunch of little feet in here too. Like there's 1, 2, there's a bunch of feet. And there is so there is a little quilting foot, a hopping foot in here. But I'm going to be using a different free motion foot on that machine. I think the one that kind of can do echo quilting and all, got to order it. But that's what I'm going to use. But it does have one of those, so I can get started right away. So that was my little, I was very excited to open all of that up. Sue says, I bet I have about 10 or more. Yeah, Sue, I'm right there with you for sure. I've got them like everywhere. And I have them in different colors too. So like Baby Locks are white. The Singer machines, the old, like I have a heavy duty Singer machine. Best little heavy duty machine I've ever had in my life. It is a workhorse. I can put leather through it, denim through it. It just goes to town. Those are like a yellowish beige color. I have another machine that is I'm going to date myself when I remember the name of this machine. anyway, it'll come to me. Theirs are a light blue. I like the light blue ones. They're pretty. So, but yeah, I've got tons of them too, Sue. I'm right there with you. Okay. So, so that's the machine, and that's exactly what it looks like. And it's pretty, it's clean. It really looks like it's a new machine. I mean, it's not like it's not been beat up and stuff, and I'm sure they've cleaned it and all, of course, but it looks beautiful. It's very nice. Yeah. And this is what I like. This piece here is the piece that slides off so you can have a free arm if you need it. But it's about 9 inches wide. And the nice thing about that is that will allow me to do ruler work quilting, which I love to do. So I won't have to buy a ruler base for this machine because it has that, which gives you a nice 9 inches to do that ruler work. So that's very, very, very nice. I like it. I like it a lot. So that video will be coming out here soon. And every time I add something new, so I looked today, I thought, and there's a possibility that my Cutie Breeze frame will come next week. But I looked today and it said anywhere from the 6th to the 28th of October. So it could be like close to Halloween before I get it. That would make me very sad. That's what I need. A single straight stitch. Yeah, Sue, that's what it is. And it's the reason I got it, obviously, it's got a little bit heavy duty motor on it for more speed. And it's got that 12-inch harp space. So that sold me. And it was on a really stinking good sale. I mean, even for a certified used, I probably got it like $300 lower than you would normally get for a certified used machine, because I know how much they sell for around here when they're like that. And so, yeah, it was a great price. So I love it. All righty. And so those videos will come out as I do them. And then as I start to learn how to drive it and all that. Oh, I told you guys last week I bought channel locks for it. I might have bought the wrong one. So there was a Cutie, and now there's a Cutie Breeze, this little frame here. The Cutie, the handlebars come out from underneath the carriage instead of over the top. And so the channel locks are different. And I think the ones I ordered are for the original Cutie, not the Cutie Breeze. So I've got to figure that out. I'm going to have to return those and reorder. And I did order an extension cord so that my foot, my pedal will reach all the way to the ground, because the Jazz 2 does not have an auto stop and start. It's a good old pedal. So that's just fine. I think I'll actually be I'll control it better that way. I think they are better for piecing. You know, Sue, it could be. I mean, I know a good straight stitch machine will always do well with piecing. So I used to piece on that little Singer I was just talking about, even though it was heavy duty. Long before I had my first embroidery machine, I would piece on that. And when I first started piecing way back in the 70s on a sewing machine, I pieced on a little straight stitch Montgomery Ward machine that my mother gave me when I went off to college, because she knew I loved sewing and quilting and all of that. So she sent me that machine because I liked, at that point, I made a lot of my own clothes. And so she sent the day I got my little car and drove off to college, she had that machine for me. So it was very sweet. And I had it for years and years and years and years, and it worked great. And it was just a little straight stitch forward, move the lever, backward, that's it. So the first time I saw a machine that did extra stitches, I was like, oh, wow. I couldn't believe it. It was very cool. All righty. Are you guys ready to do the block review for last week? We're already at that time. So here we go. So these are the 4 blocks we've already done in our 24 block challenge. And kind of the purpose of this is to, one, help build your skills with Build A Quilt, give you 24 new blocks that are in your inventory already as you're doing things, designing quilts, things like that on your own. You do need to have, and I don't have it here with me, but you do need to have our Build A Quilt basic combo set. It's got the 6 most often used quilting segments in it. It's available over at our website. You do need that for the digital files and the how-to videos and the instructions on what to cut and blah, and blah, and blah, 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 right? Then the downloads for these 24 blocks are a free download. And the one for tonight is already out there. And oh, here's our good friend, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. We talked about you earlier, Kathy. I'll show it real quick. We showed this little piece that you sent me. I loved it because it was all like warm colors and autumn, although I was telling everybody it's been 90 here this week in autumn. Crazy. But that's what we did. So Kathy is here with us. So glad to have you with us, Kathy. See, guys, don't be shy. Put your names in there and I can say hello to you because you'll get to be a regular around here. So here are the 4 blocks we've done. This was our first one. It's just an 8-point star block, but it's a little bit different than how we do them normally with flying geese units or half square triangles. That 8-point star is made with quarter square triangles. And as we talked last week, it's Sue's favorite block. It's my favorite block. So that's a fun one. And then this one here was, I think, week 2. This one, again, is deceptive because that is not a diamond in a square. That is 4 quarter square triangles and a square. So in that idea, we were learning how to use other segments to come up with the same idea, but help us flow our fabric differently, make other shapes and all coming off of those things. So to get all of this, we needed this quarter square triangle out here. And it just so happens we get that nice little diamond in a square. So you can see, like right here, if I had another block right here, right on this side or on this side, where these match up would be these 2 sides, and we'd end up with a whole row of those diamonds in a square right there. And then this was week 3. This was our lifesaver block, or what we found out was it was from the 1930s, and it was the original wedding ring block. So not like the double wedding ring and all that we know now, that really pretty curved one, which my grandma made a ton of those for her kids. And my parents have one, and they're beautiful quilts. Absolutely beautiful. But that was the original wedding ring block. It had a cute story that went with it too that I can no longer remember. And then this was last week. Similar kind of in shape, but this was called Patricia's Rose. But what we found out about this one last week is if you take these 4 split rails and you turn them around, you end up with a churn dash block. So that one is a little bit of a magic block in that way. You can make the Patricia's Rose or flip those split rails and make a lovely churn dash block. So from one set of pieces, you can make 2 blocks. You could do a whole quilt, a churn dash, a Patricia's Rose, a churn dash, a Patricia, that kind of a thing, and come up with your whole block that way. I thought it would be really pretty. So that was last week. And so the challenge last week was to take and see what you could do with making this into a churn dash or the Patricia's Rose with different colors and all that kind of stuff. So if anybody did that, you can still send me photos when you do them, guys. I don't care what week it is. It's not like it's you got to get your homework in or anything like that. If you do one of them, just send a picture and we can show them. And then that way everyone will be inspired together. So this week, I didn't grab it. Hang on. Man, has it been a day because I forgot to grab my segments. There we go. Let me just grab my segment box. So here I have my pre-made segment box here. So this week, there, I got them. That was easy. This week's block only has 2 segment pieces in it again. So super simple. The easiest one ever, the square, right? Why do we do the square like this? Because then everything matches up. There's no need to square anything up in the end, because done in the embroidery machine, once you take your ruler and you trim it down on all 4 sides that 1/4 inch, you've got the perfect square and the perfect seam allowance each and every time. The other block is the most often used one in quilting, the half square triangle. So these are our 2 segments this week. Super duper, super easy. However, the reason I decided to do this block this week is because we can actually expand on this basic block and turn it into something else. And that's kind of what I wanted you all to think about this week. Taking a smaller block, how can I add things onto it and come up with a totally different block? Maybe something that no one's ever seen before, who knows? Or maybe you see a block in a magazine, in a book or something, you really like the outside pieces, but you're not wild about the inside pieces, maybe you have a block or an idea where you could put that in there. So that's what this week is all about. So this week's block, I have to say, it's not my prettiest block ever, but that's okay. I mean, I actually used a solid in it. Can you believe it? I used a solid. But I did, and I actually did it in the reverse colors too. You'll see when you see the diagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's this. This is our block this week. Now, I will tell you, in the pattern, which is correct, this set of blocks, squares, should be the medium color, and this dark should be where the medium is. So I flipped those because I made this, and then when I was writing up the pattern, I wrote it up correctly, and then realized when it was too late to remake my block that I had flipped those colors. You could do it either way, but the way it's done in the pattern is the way it's meant to be done. Okay, so when you look at this, and when you have your colors flipped, it's a little more obvious. These 4 half square triangles end up making a pinwheel, and it's got this square in it. So by just looking at this, can you kind of tell if I just use this basic block only and added to it and did nothing else, could you tell what this would kind of look like, what the secondary idea of this would look like? It would be very much like hash marks. It would be lines, vertical lines and horizontal lines. So you'd have columns and rows really easily with this. So that's what you would get with this particular block. However, if you add to this block, you are going to end up with a completely different type of block. So now we know I've made mine the 9x9 size. You can make with the regular basic combo set, you can have a 9x9, a 12x12, or a 15x15. If you buy the mini set, you can have a 3x3, a 4.5x4.5, or a 6x6, because those are our brand new set, our little bitty minis. You can do it either way. And so this is very basic. You can use whatever colors, of course, that you want to use, but this is the basic block. This block makes a great filler block. Now, to kind of jazz this block up a little bit, and we talked about this last week about putting something different here in the center. This is another block like that. When you do a block that's 3 rows and 3 columns, you're going to get that center block, and that's where you can kind of go crazy and do whatever you want, maybe something different in each and every block. So I could put a quarter square triangle there, right in the center. That would change it. I could put a real diamond in a square right there, because that's one of our segment pieces as well. So you can really change that out, kind of make it look a little bit different. But if you do it like this, once you put it all together, you would get your horizontal lines and your vertical columns in there. And that kind of looks cool, like almost like a basket weavy kind of look, right? Okay. So that's this week's block. But well, before we go on, let me just say, this is your pattern, your free download. And on here, I just say the 9x9, the 12x12, and the 15x15, but you can always do it with our mini set if you like. And so you get your layout, what to make, how many of each to make, and what color, how many fabrics. So like in this block, we're going to need 3 fabrics. Let me go ahead and put this up here. There we go. So you're going to need 3 fabrics, a light, a medium, and a dark, basically. Now on this one, this light has a very tiny, like scattered dot in it. The fabric's called Color Wall by Sue Daly. It was this that's called the dot, and then there was one that's called the stripe. They weren't my favorite fabrics altogether, but I won some at a get-together when this first came out. And I like this one, the dot one, because those dots are so teeny and so scattered randomly that you really can't tell from here that that's not a completely solid block. And I like that. Instead of using a solid, I like those that read as solid. So this is a solid dark blue, but this, the medium here, That is basic gray grunge. That's a Moda grunge. Okay, in a blue color. I think it's called aqua. So you get the picture of the diagram and then the one with the actual fabric. So I'm continuing to be able to find fabrics so that I can show you what they look like in real fabrics. And then you get another sheet before you go on to just the general info and all. You get another sheet that's going to talk about how to expand this. Now, let me show you what this alternate layout. Hang on, what's this? Yeah, here we go. This is the alternate layout. You're not going to use any different segment pieces. You're still going to make some more squares and you're going to make some more HSTs. And that information is right here, like what you're going to make. So you start out with your basic block right in the center, and you can see it right here. And seeing it this way with the darker blue where it's supposed to be and the medium blue in the center, definitely you can see that pinwheel in there now. And then by adding these additional squares, 3 on each side, 2 in the dark, 1 in the light on each side, and then a new HST in each corner, you get this whole new shape. And so last week we talked about the Patricia's rose, this one right here. And it's kind of hard to see that as a rose in these colors. In different colors, it was easier to see. But this week's block, when you add those extra pieces, that looks more like a flower to me, right? I think it looks more like a flower. So you could say that was a rose. Or maybe if you, like, I grow a flower called the Lisianthus, which is like a perfect mimic to an old-fashioned rambling rose, but no thorns. Yay, no thorns. And it doesn't have a lot of smell to it either, but it's beautiful. I grow them because a lot of my designer friends and all like to use them for weddings, so I grow them and sell them for that. And though if you were here right now in my studio with me, I would give you all some to take home with you because they're still blooming, and I have like a whole kitchen window full of them. It's crazy. They're pretty, but it's crazy. So just by adding some extra blocks, the same blocks you're already using, you can turn this into a completely different block. So in my 3 by 3, which is a 9-inch, so 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So this would turn it into a 15-inch block. So maybe you wanted to do a pillow. That would be a great size for a pillow, or a little mat for the center of a table to put flowers on. Or maybe you want to do a really quick quilt. That's your block for a quick quilt. So 15, make like a row of 4, and then, a row of 4 and 5 of those rows, you'd have that done really quickly. And if you did the bigger size, so if you started out with this being a 15-inch where you're using the 5-inch, this would be a 25-inch block. You could go to town and make a full quilt in no time. Or that 25-inch would make a nice little wall hanging. Again, a nice table topper. It would be a gorgeous pillow. Maybe that's something you want to do at the holidays for gifts for some of your quilting friends, guild friends. Are you doing an exchange with folks at your guild this year? This could be great. Do it in the 5-inch squares. You get a 25-inch block. Find out what your secret Santa person's kind of favorite colors are. Make it in their favorite colors. Put a little label on the back of it so they know it's from you and what it was from. The Secret Santa, the Guild Secret Santa gift for 2025 or something like that. Put your name and their name on it, the to and from. That would be a lovely gift. And this could look like a gift too. Like the top, if you look down, this kind of has that bow idea to it. This could be the box, so you could do it in holiday colors if you wanted. So this could be a really useful, functional block for you in the long run. But this idea, you guys, can be done with any block that you have. So I've been doing 9-inch blocks every week, right? And last week, a bunch of us said, I know Sue and I, we voted that this one was our favorite so far. And this was completely done scrappy. I just put my hand in, grabbed something out, and used it. I didn't try to match up colors, didn't look at colors. I just grabbed and went. Because if I start looking at them, then I'm going to start planning. And if I start planning, it takes away my scrappiness feeling from what I'm doing. So I just put my hand in the bag, pull something out, and go to town. So I went and took the diagram for this block and I expanded it. I used the same expansion that I used here. So I added the same expanding pieces to it. Instead of using the quarter square triangles, I used the same ones that I used here on this block number 5, just so it would be easier for you to see this idea. And this is what I came up with. Now, instead of choosing just the background and a couple of colors, what I did is in all these places where you see color, I tried to pick colors from the star itself. And I'm pretty sure I ended up with every color that's in here is also out here. I might be one off. Do you like that, Kathy? Oh, Kathy gave a cute little emoji. I like that. Thanks, Kathy. But so like if I made something like this, I'd call it like the stained glass block or something, because it's got if it was a stained glass window, can you see the sun coming through all of those colors and all? Sue says she loves it too. Great, Sue. Thank you so much. I thought, when I was thinking about which block I'd show, I thought, oh, Sue and I both like that block, so I'll choose that one. Don't mean to play favorites, but sometimes I just do, it's just the way that worked out. But you could in this choose just the background color and 2 other colors so that it ended up being like, so this one is all just done in the same 3 colors and it's pretty. But in this one, if you wanted, you could end up doing like all these dark blues or something in a different color as well. That's the fun thing about quilting, you guys. This is all entirely up to you. You're the designer, you're the artist. Do whatever you want and it will turn out beautifully, I promise you. And if somebody says, I don't really like it, that's okay too. It's not their thing, but there will be a ton of other people that love it. And that if you're giving it as a gift, let me tell you, the person receiving it will absolutely love it. Or maybe you're just making finally something for yourself. That would be pretty. So if this was all 5-inch squares again, or 5-inch segments, it would be a 25 by 25. That could be a really pretty wall hanging, a 25 by 25 wall hanging. And in this respect, if I did this with, if I happen to do it all in solids like this, we've been talking about this whole idea of modern quilting a couple of weeks ago. And I will tell you that I've designed a little modern quilt pattern. It's going to be a wall. It's going to be a wall quilt. It's not going to be huge. I think it's going to either be 30 by 30 or 36 by 36, but it will give us all a chance to do some modern quilting. And I tried to follow like the rules of modern quilting that I found, and we'll go over that another time, but that's coming. But like this, if you did it all in solids, then maybe you would want to do your binding in a print. Or if you did all of these in a print, then what I might do is just bind it in the same color as the background color. And on this, that's not white. That's a super light pink, believe it or not. I don't know if it's coming across as white. It kind of does. It looks like on my other screen here, it looks white. It's really a very, very muted light pink. But if you did it, all the binding all in the same color as the background color, then this whole big medallion piece kind of looks like it's floating on that background, like it's one of those edgeless kind of things. So you could do that. That's an idea. To me, that would be a more modern looking idea. Or if you did it in solids, I would probably do a pattern, a small pattern or something for my my binding. Or if I did it in prints, I'd probably do a solid, or I'd find some really small print. Maybe one of your prints was a small, I would use a small print too, maybe on that. But that is the expansion for this for block number 1. And you can play with it. Like I said, you could do whatever you wanted. So your challenge this week, you guys, is to take this week's block or any of our blocks and try to do an expanded block. Go ahead and make your block so you've got your part of your 24 block challenge done. You'll have all your 24 blocks done when you're done, which will be enough for a quilt. Because once we do all 24, we're going to talk about layouts and things like that. It's like our next steps. But for a challenge, try taking one of these blocks using, I would say, the 5 by 5 inch segment pieces in the set, and making that 25-inch piece and see how it comes out. I bet you're going to love it. I bet you would love it. I could even see, let's go back to our layout for this week's. This one, I could really see that done in holiday colors as a holiday wall hanging to make that look like a gift. The more I look at it, the half square triangles kind of look like your loops of your bow and all. I think that would be beautiful. Okay. So that is what I wanted to talk about this week in that regard. Now, that's our challenge. Now, I wanted to share something with you guys because I haven't talked about it too much recently. Here we go. So several weeks ago, I told you guys that we now have memberships, YouTube channel memberships for folks who want to help support their favorite channels, get a little extra access, get a little extra stuff going on. Well, originally we started out with 2. And I've dropped one of them because everybody that's signing up is signing up for the Build a Quilter one, $5.99 a month or whatever that is, and because you get more stuff with it. And so we've dropped the just basic one, and I never felt great about that one because I didn't feel like I was really giving you good value there. But with this one, I do. So you can become a Build a Quilter by joining the Build a Quilt channel membership. On the home screen of the channel, just click the join button. And there, now the video on there is going to talk about both. I've got to change that video over. But it'll talk about what comes in them, all of that kind of stuff, and tell you all about the process and all of that. I've got a new video coming out for members here in the next little bit. And so just click that join button. When you click the join button, you're not like automatically joined. You get to look and read and figure out and watch the little video attached and stuff like that. And if you do, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all of the support you guys give in any form to our channel and to my little business here with Build a Quilt. And I hope you are loving it and feel like you're getting value from it. And I will tell you right now that next week, we're going to have a little announcement about Quilt Lab for next year. Okay. Quilt Lab is changing a lot. Okay. That's all I'm going to say for now. So I'll tell you more about that next week, but Quilt Lab is going to be changing. Alrighty. I wanted to share that with you now. We have our question of the week. I'm having a really hard time finding stuff tonight. There we go. We're having our question of the week. So question of the week is just kind of a random question, sometimes about sewing, sometimes about your favorite ice cream, just general stuff. No rights, no wrongs. I like seeing it. I get inspired by the stuff you guys say. We all get to chat in a little bit about our answers. And then I do a spinning of the names over here, and then someone will win a prize. Alrighty? So this week's question is, because I don't think we've ever talked about this before. This week's question is, embroidery machine only or a combo machine, which is embroidery and sewing? And what's your brand? What's your go-to brand for you? You can go ahead and start putting your comments in the comments, or your answers in the comments. So I was for many years a Singer sewer. And then I know Singer got kind of a rough rap for a while. And I never felt that was ultimately very fair. My Singer machines have always been great. But when I learned about embroidery, a friend invited me to a shop to take an embroidery, a Kimberbell embroidery class. It was a 2-day class where we made all these cute little things. I went because I liked my friend and she invited me. So I went. And holy moly, I was hooked immediately. But for me, I never quite understood the idea of having, well, I guess I understand the idea of having a combo machine, but it scares me to have only a combo machine. Because if I have to take my machine in for maintenance, I lose all my sewing ability, my sewing and my embroidery, all of it. So I have a really good quilting machine. It's a Brother. It's one of their quilt club, their biggest quilt club ones for quilting and sewing. And I'm still rubbish at the free motion quilting on it, but I use that thing. I piece all my pieces on it together. Once I've done my embroidery part, I piece the things together. I sew my quilts, rows and stuff together on it all the time. I sew costumes on it. It's just a lovely machine and I love it. So Brother. But when I got my first embroidery machine, I came home that day from my class and Dave said, "Did you like the class?" I said, "Yeah, it was really fun. I loved it. I could see, like, that would be a fun little hobby to have. I love it. But those machines are so horribly expensive." And they're expensive. They were way out of my price range at that point. 2 days later, I came home and on my kitchen countertop was this lovely, really nice Singer embroidery machine, embroidery only. It had a 4x4, 5x7, and 6x10 hoop. And can I just tell you, a 6x10 at that time was the biggest hoop they made, and it was considered gargantuan. And next to it, David come into my sewing room, into the studio, and he had gathered up a bunch of my fat quarters and sat them all around, put a big red ribbon on the top. He had taken it out of the box and kind of tried to, so sweet, you guys. Oh my gosh. Yes, I have the best husband in the world. Dave and I were friends for a long time before we ever started dating and all. And I just am the most fortunate woman in the world. I've been married to that man for almost 44 years. And I have been fortunate every day to spend my life journey with him because he's literally, I think, one of the best people on the planet. My husband is just a super great person. So anyway, had to brag a little bit, sorry. But he had that there and he said, "I hope this is okay." And I'm like, first my question is, how much did you pay for that machine? And I think he got it at Joann's, actually. I think he said it was like $600 or $700. And it was a great machine. It worked great. But then I went to another embroidery event where I always borrowed machines when I went to events. I don't like dragging my machines around. And I fell in love with Baby Lock. I loved it. Oh, I was a Baby Lock girl hard. Oh my gosh. And so I saved up about $1,800 to buy the most basic embroidery only Baby Lock machine. And that machine still travels with me whenever I go. It's got a 6x10 hoop, as big as a 6x10 hoop as well. And it's got a lot of little automation and stuff on it that I can use, which is plenty for Build A Quilt. I mean, it's more than plenty for Build A Quilt. So I take that with me still to this day. But you know how it goes. Somebody told me, the fact that at that point I had like 2 machines, I sold my Singer because I felt like greedy having 2 machines. And somebody said, "Oh, Diana, I've got like 4 or 5 machines in my house." I'm like, what? I won't tell you how many machines I have now. It's not fair. Just not good. But they're all being used. Like, they're not sitting away. I've got my Dream machine, which was not certified used. It was a used machine, a gently used machine in great shape. It was like brand new when we got it. The lady got it home, got buyer's remorse, brought it back. They had to sell it used. And the shop, which I bought my big sewing machine at, gave it to me like almost nothing. And that woman had bought every single piece of equipment and software that went with it. All of that, the bags, everything came with it. I got all of that for literally almost nothing. It was great. And I used that machine. I have my Stellaire, which I already had, but I had to borrow the Dream machine while my Stellaire was being maintained. and I fell in love with it. And my Stellaire is my backup machine now because I love this Dream Machine more than anything. And so Brother, then I was Brother. So Brother, Baby Lock, yeah, I read the history. I know their story. So there's not really much of a difference there, is there? And I love those machines. I have tried Bernina a million times. It's a great, to me, Bernina is like the best racehorse. They're a little antsy, and you got to kind of pet them and be nice to them. And I just want a machine I can work with. I've tried using Bernina at several different events and stuff. I can't use one. I don't know what it is. I'm just not cut out to be a Bernina person, but they're beautiful machines, and people that love them surely love them. I have not tried a Janome or a Juki for embroidery. I've tried them for sewing, but I generally know in general kind of what they're like in work. They're all good machines. I've tried Husqvarna Viking at a shop before, so I've kind of touched all of them, but Brother Baby Lock, that's really where my heart lies, I guess. And I think that's kind of the way for everybody. Whatever you start with first, that kind of, because you know it. The next time they come out with a new one, it's pretty much the same setup with a couple new things on it. So you know it already. You don't feel like you have such a huge learning curve. So what's here? Kathy says, so that's mine. I'm a Brother Baby Lock girl for sure. And I will try anything. And I really still do love my Singer. Spiegel. That's the machine I couldn't remember. Do you guys remember the old Spiegel catalog? Now I'm dating myself, really dating myself there. But I have one of the Spiegel sewing machines. And it's like a fancy one. It's got like a little built-in like iPad kind of a thing on it. It was like no money, and it's got like the old metal bobbin case and front loading and all of that, which I really like for costumes. So when I have to go somewhere with a sewing machine for costume building and off of the theater, I take my Spiegel with me. Unless I'm making like curtains and stuff, then I take my Singer with me. So what does Kathy have to say here? Kathy says combo Baby Lock, and I have a Janome, but you use your Baby Lock 90% of the time. I love my Baby Lock. And now, so my Baby Lock Jazz 2 is, you guys know, sewing only, and my little one, which is, what is that called? Was it the Flourish? I have to look. I can't remember the name of my original embroidery only machine. So my Dream Machine is a combo, but I never use it for anything but Build A Quilt, basically, and embroidery. I never use it for sewing. I just don't. I got all the stuff to do it if I had to. If I had to take a machine to the island, I guess my Dream Machine would be the one, because I could do both. But it always scared me to have just one machine if something broke. I don't like being without my machines. Got to do my sewing. Combo and Baby Lock. So Janome. So I'm curious, Kathy, if you want to share, if you don't, none of our business. What made you decide on did you have your Baby Lock combo first or your Janome first? What made you decide on the other one? I'd be interested to know. And then Kathy said, Dave's a keeper. Yeah, Dave is a keeper, and he's mine to keep. You guys can't have him, sorry. And then Sue says, oh, she has to say goodbye. Goodbye, Sue. Thanks for joining us, dear. We never did hear what are you a single machine or a combo machine person? You can let us know another time, because I know you got to get going. Thanks for being with us, though. Yep, and we're almost 2 minutes out. So, Kathy, since you're the only one that's got an answer here, honey, you're going to win tonight's prize, okay? So I know I was late sending out last week's prizes. I'm sorry, guys. I had it sitting here on my desk. I never sat back at my desk again until like Sunday. That's how crazy last week was with the whole flooring fiasco in the hallway, which we still don't know. So Kathy, dear, you are winning tonight since you're the only one that actually answered for us. You guys, you got to answer. You could win some cool prizes. Okay. And this week, Kathy, yeah, I'm not going to tell you what you've won. It's going to be a surprise. All righty. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Baby Lock, Kathy says Baby Lock first and got crazy at an event and bought the combo Janome. Aren't they good at selling you machines? Oh my goodness, I know what you mean. I've been at events going, oh, how can I swing that in my little bank account? Yeah, I have my little sewing bank account. How can I swing that? Could I do that? Yeah. Especially if it's, I just don't go to Baby Lock events anymore. It's danger, Diana, danger, Will Robinson. I don't go to them anymore. I would. It's really bad when you have a hobby that you're so hooked on, but yet you're talking like thousands of dollars to, yeah, so can't do that. You're welcome, Kathy, my friend. You're very welcome. All right, everybody. As always, if you need to contact me, you certainly can do so at support@sewuncommon.com. Don't forget to go to the website. If you don't have the combo set yet, that you're looking for the Build A Quilt combo basic set, or the Build A Quilt basic mini segment set, either one. You can make these blocks using either set because the segment pieces are exactly the same. They're just in different sizes. So you get 3 sizes in one and 3 sizes in the other. So that's at our website, mybuildaquilt.com. Thank you all so much for joining. If you were new, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos and becoming part of the Build A Quilt community. The only reason I'm here doing what I'm doing is because of all of you guys, because that's literally how I designed and came up with Build A Quilt, was because of my embroidery friends that wouldn't quilt with me. So I enjoy doing it. It's lots of fun, and we'd love to have you as part of our community for sure. And as I always tell you guys, oh, and Kathy, thanks again, dear, for those memes, those little cartoons. I think I've got one more that you sent for next week. As I tell you every week, as quilters, we are artists. That's kind of what we're talking about, right? How to put things together in an artsy way. We're artists. We make the world a beautiful place. I've never heard of someone getting a quilt and going, oh my gosh, it's so ugly. My life is horrible. Why did I have to get that? No, that's not the way it is. You know that. You give a quilt and they're like, oh, you gave me a quilt. I love you. Oh, it's so great. That's what quilters do, right? That's what we're all about. So we are quilters in our own right, and we are artists in our own right. So go out this week and quilt life beautiful. Until next time, everybody. Bye for now.